So we turn to Milan Zubíček, Public Policy and Government Relations Manager at Google in Brussels. Child safety, misinformation, and extremism is also the topics he works with.
I switch off my mic and hope that yours is on now. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
We can hear you as well.
I hope you can hear me as well. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me to speak today. Because media literacy is really such an important topic and also a critical part of tackling disinformation. And of course, we as Google are taking our commitment to tackling misinformation in our products incredibly seriously. Our content policies and products really play an important role in raising authoritative content, in reducing disinformation, and helping users to make informed judgments about the credibility of news they found on Google and on YouTube and on other products. To date, we've developed a number of products, from fact-checking tags to publisher knowledge panels, leveraging trust indicators to really help people develop their own critical thinking about what they are clicking on and what they are reading, what they are interacting with. In the last 2 years, you know, the global pandemic have really proven how important, how critical it is for people to access information accurately and to sort facts from fiction and from disinformation. And helping the world make sense of information during the COVID pandemic also requires a broad-based response involving scientists, journalists, public figures, technology platforms, and many others. And we work with health services, publishers, governments around the world, and also in Latvia, to ensure our users get the information about COVID-19 that they want, the answers they need when they are asking the important questions, and the accuracy that they deserve on time in the local languages based on the input from the local health authorities. And actually, we've partnered with the Latvian government on surfacing the authoritative information about COVID-19 on search, maps, YouTube. We've also extended over $100,000 worth of ad grants for Latvian government institutions to really help Latvians find official COVID-related information online. Now, moving to the media literacy, it is critical. And it is also clear that there is an unmet demand. According to a recent report by Ipsos, fewer than 1 in 10 Europeans have participated in any form of media literacy training. And actually 60% of Europeans say that they are interested in learning about how to use tools to distinguish between true and false information online. It's really a sort of important long-term activity that must accompany those immediate actions that I just mentioned: removing harmful misinformation, raising authoritative sources, reducing the scope of this sort of borderline content, and constantly improving our products and services. The media literacy really spans generations, education levels, and cultures. And there's certainly something we've learned. There's definitely not one size fits all solution. It's really important to keep in mind that the local approaches are vital in this field. And we really know that we cannot do this alone. We've supported media literacy through google.org and have already trained more than 7 million Europeans in digital skills in media literacy. We've also provided digital verification trainings to close 100,000 European journalists in the last 5 years, with close to 500,000 visits to our training websites. As with everything, as with this conference, of course, we are now moving to the more online trainings, and we are trying also to shape our training modules so that people can take them online. We also extended journalism emergency relief funds to 11 Latvian new publishers. And in the course of the past years, we have provided trainings to 284 Latvian journalists, to over 150 journalists in Estonia, over 60 in Lithuania. The News Lab is a team within Google whose mission is really to collaborate with journalists and with academics and with nonprofits. So we are definitely trying to be as local with those trainings as possible. We've also announced trainings and donations to support fact-checking about COVID-19 vaccinations. But, you know, sometimes we think about fact-checking really in terms of the experts, NGOs, but fact-checking isn't just for professionals and for journalists. Every day, people really seek evidence to confirm or refute a piece of information they've received or they they've seen somewhere online, they are not really certain about. So that is why promoting the authoritative content is really critical. And that is why the media literacy trainings for participants, for users, for citizens is so important. Finally, I will mention that in March this year, Google was the first company to contribute 25 million euros to help launch the European Media and Information Fund to strengthen media literacy skills, fight misinformation, support fact-checking, and support research. The objective of this fund, which is run by the European University Institute and the Calouste Gulbenkian Foundation, and which is, by the way, completely independent from Google. So we are taking no decision whatsoever in terms of what projects should be supported. The objectives are to help adults and young people strengthen their media literacy skills, support and scale critical work of fact-checkers, strengthen the expertise, research and resources to help fight misinformation, and we really look forward to seeing those impactful projects supported by the fund. It should very soon open for calls for application, so I really will warmly invite you to look up information about the fund, check the website, look the upcoming calls for applications, and come up with your own proposals if you're active in this field. So just to wrap up, we know it's really critical to work together. The collaboration is absolutely necessary in order to promote media literacy and to fight misinformation. We've also made very important progress in this field thanks to the Code of Practice on Disinformation, which we co-signed and which we are now working on updating together with the Commission and together with other signatories. And we are really committed to collaborate, to find new ways to continue this fight. And we very much look forward to seeing what we can achieve together in Europe, but also specifically in Latvia. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to the discussion and the collaboration. Thank you.
If you have some minute for one question, there is a question which is directed towards researchers and research. As we noticed during this conference, that research is a fundamental part of the making a successful media literacy policy. So does Google plan to collaborate with researchers from Latvia? Because the situation in every country inside the EU is very different. You can't compare actually the South and Northeast Europe in terms of misinformation. There are similarities, but there are very many differences. So is there any plan to collaborate with researchers from Latvia? How would you say that?
Thank you. This is such an important and such a good question. And of course, the collaboration, as I mentioned, is really the key to addressing and to properly tackling this field. We are very open to collaborate with researchers locally in every country. My colleagues who are covering the region specifically would be very happy to work with the regulators and with researchers in terms of what we can do together, in terms of having better insights into what are the trends that we are seeing. To share the knowledge, to exchange, to also help us to be in front of some of those trends that are just constantly evolving. So the collaboration couldn't be more important. We also know and we welcome the Commission's stressing the importance of collaboration with the researchers. Some of you might have heard about the European Digital Media Observatory, which has been established by the Commission exactly for these purposes, for the collaboration. So if you have any concrete examples, if participants have any concrete ideas and suggestions, how we could work even more closely together, we would be extremely very happy to follow up. And again, I couldn't stress enough how important for us the collaboration is.
Thank you, Milan. We are very happy to have you here. So one more little question. You had a very good examples how Google already does collaborate with Latvia locally. And how do you see the impact of that collaboration? Have you measured it? Have you noticed the real effects that they have, this kind of collaborations?
Absolutely. We constantly measure and we constantly improve and take the feedback into account. We have seen that, especially in the framework of the COVID-19 misinformation, we've seen people really trying to find the authoritative information. So we've seen that people are indeed, trying to click on the information use Google products and use Google services to sort of fact check, to review, to assess whether the information has been correct or not. So we've definitely seen a growing number of people trying to really sort of assess the quality of the information. These are all aspects that are going into us constantly improving and updating and enforcing our policies. We have been also reporting locally on some of the data as a part of our collaboration with the Commission, as a part of the Code of Practice on Disinformation. These reports that we've been publishing on a monthly basis are publicly available. So I would invite everyone to also have a look at those reports, to assess them and to see how those policies are being implemented. Again, we are hearing loud and clear that it is critical for online platforms to really be diligent in enforcing the policies and in introducing the tools and policies across the globe, in every single country, in the local languages on time. So we understand its importance and we definitely take it extremely seriously.
We are at same level of extreme thankful to you. Milan Zubíček was our guest. We were honored to have you here, and we move on with our conference.